Welcome to this virtual class today. So I'm very thankful that I'm getting this opportunity to purify my speech. And today I would like to talk a little bit on Gajendra Moksha. So the deliverance of Gajendra. As we will be starting the Canto 8 soon, and Gajendra's story is like in three chapters. And so it's very nice to get, I'm going to give a little purview of the chapters 2, 3, and 4. And so before that, I would like to do the invocation. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandhyaham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaisnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Visamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhavai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we start, I'll start, and again, Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome once again to this virtual class. So I would like to seek all your good wishes and your blessings, and we'll start with this Gajendra Moksha. So today, so that's the famous story of Gajendra. And we all know it's from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we know that his prayers, he is very famous. Gajendra is famous for his prayers to Lord Vishnu. Because most of the time when we talk about deliverance, yes, the Lord has delivered so many souls, but not only human beings, but animals also. And then Gajendra come first. Most of them Gajendra. So if we have some time at the end of the class, I'll try to recite the beautiful verses. Which we will take only 7 or 8 minutes to recite that. And then in this regard, in the regard of this prayer, Gajendra's prayer to Lord Vishnu. So first, let us say what Sukadeva Goswami wrote in Srimad Bhagavatam. Here, Canto 8, chapter 4, verse 14. So, okay, I have it here. I cannot see clearly on the screen. So let me read from here. Okay, so it says on text 14, Etan Maharaja Teverito Maya Krishnanu Bhavo Gajaraja Mokshanam Swargyam Yasanam Kali Kalmapahasam Dusvapana Nasam Kuru Verya Srinnapatam. And then the translation goes, my dear King Parikshit, I have now described the wonderful power of Krishna as displayed when the Lord delivered the king of the elephants. O best of the Kuru dynasty, those who hear this narration become fit to be promoted to the higher planetary system. Simply because of hearing this narration, they gain a reputation as devotees. They are unaffected by the contamination of Kali Yuga, and they never see bad dreams. So this is what Sukadeva Goswami says. So just hearing the Gajendra Moksha Stotra, that's what we can achieve. And then these are 28 very powerful verses. They are from chapter 3, text 2 to 29. So at the end, if I have some time, I will try to recite these verses. So here, so first of all, I would like to talk a little bit on the past life of Gajendra in his previous life. In his previous life, he was King Indradumna, and he was a very, very good person. He was very bright, he was kind-hearted, he was selfless and very pious. And it was in his thought, in his word and action also. So one day a sage visited his kingdom and asked him for something. So he says, give me something that doesn't belong to you. So the king said, okay, and which is very dear to your heart. It does, which belong to you, sorry, which belong to you and which is very dear to your heart. So the king said, okay. He told us, says that my kingdom, which is very dear to me, and so I can give you that, I can give you my kingdom. But the sage replied that the kingdom belonged to the citizen. It didn't belong to the king, and that he was merely the protector, and that he had to protect the kingdom and the citizen. So the king said, okay, so I can give you my palace and my chariot because these belong to me. So again the sage replied that those also, they belong to the citizen. They have been made available to the king so that he could protect the citizen effectively. So now the king was disappointed because he saw that he could not give anything to the sage. And the sage wanted to help the king because he have seen that the king was a little puffed up. The king was saying that I have the kingdom, I am the king, I have this palace, I have the chariot, I have so many things. So the sage was very compassionate. He just wanted to liberate the king from all these material conceptions. And so the king was he was very like he was very sad. And so he said that the sage said that he could give him, as the sage asked for something that belonged to the king actually, and the sage says, you could give me your pride and your arrogance, which would change your life completely. Because the sage has seen that the king was arrogant and he had pride in himself. So when the sage left, the king thought a lot about it. He said he saw that he possessed the kingdom, the palace, the chariot, but all were given to him and nothing was his. So after pondering upon what the sage told him, the king decided to renounce his life as a king and go to the forest to meditate. So he took the vow to do silent meditation upon Lord Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu was his whom he was worshipping all the time. So he left home. And his wife wanted to accompany him, but he refused. He said no, he wanted to go on his own, not to get distracted. So he left home, and reaching the dense forest, like a mendicant, he had only a piece of cloth around his body, and he sat under a tree with closed eyes. And he was in complete trance all the time. He was not like he didn't know what is happening around him. So one day, King Rishi Agastya just was passing there with his disciple. All of them were just walking around in the forest, and they saw the king sitting in silence. Okay, not knowing that he was a king who had renounced his kingdom and meditating in silence. The rishi expected like some respects. Like usually the rishis, that's what they expect from anyone they see. They wait that somebody will bow down and pay them respects. But since the king, he was in trance, he was unaware of the presence of the rishi. So the rishi was with his disciple. They were talking. They were saying, "Look at this person. He's sitting like an elephant, ignoring us." And so the rishi got a bit angry, and he cursed the king. He cursed him to become an elephant, and to roam to become an elephant in his next life, and to roam the forest. And then usually what they do, they take a little bit of water in the hand and just sprinkle on the person, and then they curse. Like all the rishis will do that. Now, when the king realized what has happened, he told the rishi that he was observing Maun Vrat, meditating in silence, and that he was in trance, and he was not aware of the presence of the rishis. So Agastya Rishi then told the king that, then the king asked for forgiveness. But Agastya Rishi said that I have already cursed you now, but Lord Narayan will come personally to deliver you from this curse. And so the Rishi left. So in his next life, the king became an elephant. Eventually, he became an elephant. So he was not an ordinary elephant. He was the king of elephant, and where he lived with his huge family. He had a huge family, and in the most beautiful Trikuta Mountains Valley. So this Trikuta Mountains Valley, this area where he lived, this only on this Trikuta Valley, the opulence of the valley, a whole class can be given. It is so. It is explained in the Bhagavatam. We will see later. And the effulgence of the mountains and the beauty and so many natural things that are there, that could take a long time. So in this is a Trikuta mountain. So that is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, text 2 to in chapter 2, text 1 to 20. Sukdev Goswami and Srila Prabhupada has broadly elaborated on the beauty of this Trikuta mountain, Trikuta Valley place. And so Trikuta mountain had 3 peaks in gold, silver, and iron. So it was in the middle of the ocean of milk. And when the waves washed the ground at the foot of the mountain, emeralds were produced. So the mountain was 80,000 feet high, and the similar length and breadth of they were the same measurements. They were the same size, like. And Gajendra was a very powerful king of the elephant, just like he in his previous life. He had many wives and children, and when he would walk, the Trikuta mountain would tremble due to his heavy weight. And all the big animals like those lions, the tigers, and the rhinos, they would hide due to fear of Gajendra. And the smaller animals, they would be carefree, because Gajendra was very passionate. He was very compassionate toward them. So they will roam free around, and they will not be scared of the big animals. And so one day it was a very hot day, and Gajendra decided to sport in the cool water of one of the beautiful lake after a long walk with his wife, huge family members, and friends. So he decided to sport a little bit in the cool water. So all of them were very happy. They were enjoying the water in the lake, and but Gajendra, being the king, he wanted to enjoy more in the deeper water. So unfortunately, in that lake lived a crocodile. So, but what happened is, the crocodile, usually when we are happy, there are other people who are not happy. The jealousy is there. So similarly, when Gajendra and all the elephants were very happy, enjoying in the water, the crocodile got very mad. He was not happy to see the happiness of others. And so he just came out, and suddenly he was very angry. They were disturbing him in his own place, and he caught the foot of Gajendra. And slowly he started dragging Gajendra to the deeper water. So at first, Gajendra thought that he could free himself. But when he realized how powerful the crocodile was, he asked for help from his family members and friends. But although all of them tried, nobody could help him. And it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that both Gajendra and the crocodile fought for 1,000 celestial years. That was a very, very long battle. And and he could not. Finally, he realized that being a creature of water, the crocodile was getting more strength, and Gajendra being a creature of land, his power was diminishing. He could not fight with a crocodile, and he was losing his power. So then he realized that there was nobody to help him. Everybody left, and Gajendra, he was on his own, and he struggled for so long. And then he realized that he was going to die. On the verge of death, Gajendra remembered Lord Vishnu, his Istadev, that he used to pray in his previous life. So he became very weak due to fighting non-stop and not getting any nourishment from the water. But still, with great effort, he slowly managed to pick a lotus flower by his trunk and started offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. So here, we can compare Gajendra to Parikshit Maharaj. Knowing that he had only 7 days to live, he left his palace and went by the river Ganga. He stopped eating, drinking, and even sleeping, completely renounced. He sat to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, narrated by Sukdev Goswami. Oh no, I think I missed the, okay, never mind. Then here we can see that Parikshit Maharaj, his focus was one-pointed. Sometimes Sukdev Goswami would narrate one pastime of the Lord in one sentence, just to check if Parikshit Maharaj was still interested in listening to the Lord's pastime. But very submissively, Parikshit Maharaj would request Sukdev Goswami to narrate the pastime in detail. But and Gajendra pastime was one of those pastimes that Parikshit Maharaj wanted to listen mostly. It is not that he did not know about it. Parikshit Maharaj inquired for us. He knew he would die in 7 days. He did not really need to hear of Gajendra's pastime. He was a Mahabhagavata, just like his grandfather Arjuna, who pretended to be confused on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, just for our sake. So here we can see, just like Arjuna, when he was on the battlefield and he pretended to be confused, he didn't know what to do, and he was talking to Lord Krishna. He was saying, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prachami tvam dharma samudha cheta yakshreyasyani nistitam bruhitan me shishyastyaham siddhimam tvam prapannam. So the translation is, now I am confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of my miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So he is asking to be instructed, right? In fact, both Arjuna and Maharparishit were inquiring for our benefit. Arjuna was...
Mataji, I want to read the shloka.
Okay, go ahead, read it.
Karpanya dosho pata swabhava prachami tvam dharma samudha cheta yashreyasyani shitam rohitan me shishyasthate hansari mantvam prapanna.
Very good. Well done. You did it better than me. See? Okay. So now Arjuna was asking, he was inquiring from Lord Shri Krishna on the battlefield, and Bhagavad Gita was sung by Lord Krishna. And when Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Sukdev Goswami, then Srimad Bhagavatam was recited and compiled, that for our benefit. So both are authentic Vedic literatures for our benefit. And so if anyone of us know that we are going to die we come to know that we will die soon. So we will be in so much anxieties and panicking. So even if we will have a great personality like Sukdev Goswami in front of us, we will not be able to be composed as Parikshit Maharaj was. So listening to the pastimes and of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit said that the pastime of Gajendra purifies one's mind. Gajendra continued praying to Lord Vishnu. He was in great pain, his legs was bleeding, and he saw time of death. His time of death has come, but he did not stop praying. So eventually, Lord Vishnu appeared on his Karya Garuda with his disc, his Sudarshan Chakra. First, he cut off the head of the crocodile, thus liberating first the crocodile and then Gajendra. So what happens here is like, this is when they were asking, okay, here. So now the crocodile had another, it's a very interesting story also. We see the crocodile he became a very beautiful personality. So the crocodile, his story, he was also cursed by Devala Rishi. The Rishi was taking his bath in a river and standing in the water, he was chanting his Gayatri mantra. So a Gandharva by the name Huhu, he held his foot underwater. The Rishi got angry and cursed him to become a crocodile because when the Rishi was doing his Gayatri and this one was disturbing him, pulling his leg underwater. So he said, you're like a crocodile in the water. So I curse you to become a crocodile. So when the Gandharva said that he did not mean to do any harm to the Rishi and that he was just playing, so he asked for forgiveness. And the Rishi told him that Lord Narayan will liberate him. So eventually Lord Narayan liberated both of them. Both of them were cursed, but it may be like a something, what do we say, blessing in disguise for both of them. So both the elephant and the crocodile got the beautiful human form afterwards. Then Gajendra asked the Lord, why did he liberated the crocodile first? Because he was the one who was suffering, and he was the one who was offering prayers to the Lord. So here the Lord replied that what he does often, he first bestows his mercy upon those who hold the feet of the devotees. So here we can see that Gajendra was a great devotee of the Lord, and the crocodile held his foot. So the Lord will bestow his mercy on the one who hold the feet of his devotees first. That's why we have to surrender to Guru. Guru is a great devotee. So when we surrender to Guru, we hold the lotus feet of the Guru, then Lord shows mercy upon us. So, and then afterward, he deals with his devotees. First, the one who hold the feet of the devotee. So here we can ask why Lord came when Gajendra called him. Why do we think that the Lord came when Gajendra called him? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 9, Prahlad Maharaj is saying here, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Manye dhana bhijana rupa tapa srotaujas teja prabhava bala porosa buddhir yoga naradhanaya hi bhavanti parasya pumsu bhaktya tutoso bhagavan gajayuta paya. And what is the translation is saying? Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth and aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. So the Lord is only satisfied when we do devotional service to him. And then here Prahlad Maharaj is saying, he said he doesn't think that the Lord appeared. The Lord, nobody can satisfy the Lord in any way except for devotional service. In other words, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that he does not consider any of these qualities mentioned here important to attain the Lord's mercy, except for bhakti. So because if beauty is important, then how did Krishna give mercy to Kubja, who was an hunchback lady? And she was no beauty, but she had bhakti. And if wealth is important, then how did Krishna give mercy to Sudama, who was the poorest of the poor, but he had bhakti? And if Brahminical birth gives one the right to catch Krishna, then how did Vidura, the son of a maid servant, catches Krishna? But he had bhakti. So we said if age and time are required to catch Krishna, so how did Dhruva and Prahlad Maharaj, who were 5 and 6 years old, they got Krishna, and that also within very short time. So even here we can say, if intelligence is required to catch Krishna, how did Gajendra got the mercy from the Lord? He never been to school, he didn't have any education. So, and all these are not required, but bhakti is required. So in Canto 8, chapter 3, text 10, Gajendra prayer is Namo Atma Pradipaya Sakshine Paramatmane Namo Kiram Viduraya Manasa Sinchit Manasa Stetasam Api. So meaning I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self-effulgence, super soul, who is a witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul, and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. So the Lord is like the sun, illuminating everyone's heart. He's witnessing in everyone's heart. He is very far, and it is impossible for us to reach him. So we cannot reach him even by words, mind, or consciousness. So Gajendra is praying. Gajendra is praying, and here Gajendra is pleading to the Lord. I cannot catch you with my speech. I cannot think of you with my mind. I cannot hold you in my heart with my consciousness. But my Lord, I'm trying my best. Please be merciful to me and come to purify my senses so that I can approach you. He's not asking for deliverance. He says, come and purify my senses. So Gajendra had bhakti. That's why the Lord came to save him. So Lord Shri Krishna himself declares this in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 55. Bhaktya mama bijanati yaivan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jyantva vishate tad anantaram. So one can understand me as I am, as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So that is Krishna's promise. So bhakti is very important, and Gajendra had bhakti. So the Lord came to his rescue. But sometimes as devotees, we may think that yes, Ryanj?
Mataji, I want to also recite this verse.
Go ahead, Bita. Go ahead, do it.
Bhaktya mama vijanati yavan yashamsi tatvataha tato man tatvato nyanta vishate tadanantaram.
Very good. Well done. So yes, but sometimes, as I said, as devotees, we may think that the Yamadutas will not approach us because we are wearing tilak, we have kantimala, and we are chanting the holy names of the Lord. But we should bear in mind that at the time of death, it is so painful. It looks like thousands of scorpions are biting us at the same time. So, and suppose like a devotee have a heart attack, and he or she will be sweating, suffocating. And in this situation, tilak will be washed away, and kantimala will be pulled off because they are suffocating. And if for some reason a tube is inserted in our mouth for us to breathe for some medical treatment, so here what will happen? So that devotee will not be able to, let alone chant the holy name, not even be able to think about the Lord because of that situation. There's agonizing and with excruciating pain is so much painful. So but then the Lord will come, because at that time only the bhakti that the devotees has cultivated throughout their life will catch Krishna, just like Gajendra's bhakti did. And so please, I have a request to everyone. So let's start our bhakti journey so that we can catch the Lord at the time of leaving this material body. Hare Krishna. So if we still have some time, I can go to the Gajendra Moksha Stotra.
Yes, you have time. Go for it.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. This is Gajendra Moksha Stotram from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 3, verse 2 to 29, 28 beautiful verses that we can recite every morning while doing our puja or anything. That's yes. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Gajendra Uvacha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai. Yeta Chitatmakam Purushaya Dhibijaya Parishaya Pidhimahi. Yasminidam Yetaschedam Yenadam Yaidam Swayam. Yosmak Paramartha Parastam Prapatye Swayam Bhuvam Ya Swatmadidam Nijamaya Yapirtam Kwachid Vibhatam Kwacho Tatirohitam Avida Dikshakshayi Bhayam Tatiksate Sa Atma Mula Vatumam Parat Paraha Kalena Panchatmamitishu Kritnasho Lokeshu Paleshu Cha Sarvahitushu Tamastadasid Gahanam Gabhiram Yastasya pare bhivirajate vibhuhu na yasya deva risaya padam vidur chantu punarporati gandhamiritam yathana tasya kritibir vichistadu duratyaya nukrama samavatu didiksavo yasya padam sumangalam vimukta sangham naya susadhava charanti aloka vratam avranam vane Bhutatma Bhuta Suridin Same Gatihi Na Vidyate Yasya Cha Janma Karma Va Na Nama Rupa Guna Dosha Eva Va Tathapi Lokapyaya Sambhavaya Yaha Swamayaya Tanyanukalam Rechati Tasmai Nama Pareshaya Brahmane Ananta Shaktaye Rupayo Rupaya Namascharya Karmane Namo Atma Pradipaya Shakshine Paramatmane Namo Giram Viduraya Manashas Chetasam Api Satvino Pratilabhyaya Nishkarmyena Vipaschita Nama Kaivalyana Thaya Nirvana Sukha Samvide Namo Santaye Gauraye Mudhyaye Gunadharmine Nirvisheshaye Shamnyaya Namo Jnana Ghanayascha Citranya Namastubhyam Sarvadakshaye Shakshine Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakritaye Namaha Sarvendriya Guna Drishti Sarva Prapyaye Hetava Satachaya Yuktaya Sadavasaya Te Namaha Namo Namaste Khile Karanaya Neshkaranaya Bhuta Karanaya Sarvagamam Naya Maharanavaya Namo Pavargaya Parayanaya Gunarani Chanachid Ushma Paya Tatshobha Pishpurjita Manashaya Neshkarmyena Bhavena Vivarjita Gama Swayam Prakashayo Namaskaromi Madrik Prapana Pashu Pasha Vimuksanaya Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namolaya Swam Sena Sarvatanu Brinmanashi Pratita Pratyagdhishte Bhagavati Brihati Namaste Atma Japti Grihavita Ganeshu Shaktir Dushpanaya Guna Sangha Vivarjitaya Muktatma Bhiswahirdaye Paribhavitaya Yatatmane Bhagavate Namaishwaraya Yam Dharma Karmata Vimukti Kama Bhajantastam Gatim Apnuvanti Kim Chashishorati Apideham Abhyayam Karotu me Dibradayo Vimukshanam Ekantino Yashyana Kanchanartam Vanchanti Ye Vai Bhagavat Prapanaha Ati Adbhutam Takcharitam Sumangalam Gayantam Ananda Samudramagnaha Tamakshanam Brahma Paramparesham Avyaktam Adhyatmika Yoga Gamiyam Atindriyam Shukshmamivati Duram Dantamadhyam Paripurnam Ide Yashya Brahmadayo Deva Veda Lokaschara Charaha Namarupa Vibhedena Bhalgavya Cha Kalaya Kritaha Yatarchisha Ignesaviturga Vistayu Niryanti samyanti yashakritva ruchi saha tathayato yam guna sampravaho buddhir nama khani sarira sargaha savaina deva svamritya tiryan nastrina sanduna pumanna jantuhu nayam guna karma na channa chesan nishta sesu jayata dashe saha jijivise nahammi hamya kim antar bahischa vitraye bhayonya ichhami kale nana yashya viplavas Yashyatma loke varanasya moksham suhim viswas srijam viswan aviswan vishwavedasam vishwatmanamajam brahma pranato ismi param padam yogarandite karmano riddhi yoga vibhavite yogino yam prapashyanti yogesham tam natosmi aham namo namastubhyam masaya vega shakti trayaya khiladi gunaya prapana palaya durante saktaye kad indriyana manavatya vartmane nayam veda swamatmanam yakchat yaham dhiya hatam tam duratyaya mahatmiyam bhagavantam tosmi aham. So now the Lord will reply to Gajendra. Ye mam stuvanti anenanga pratibudya nishyatya ye te sampranatya ye chaham dadhami vipulam gatim. So that the promise of the Lord is whoever upon rising from bed in the morning recite this prayer, they will come to my abode. I will always protect them and they will come to my abode. So Hare Krishna, if you have any question or any comments, please go ahead.
Very nicely done, Mataji. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
The point about why the crocodile was liberated first.
Yes.
Very nice point.
So that's why we should always be in the association of devotees and surrender to Guru and Gauranga. So then the Lord will certainly cast his glance upon us. He will remember us.
Thank you, Induleka Mataji. Really enjoyed it. Thank you. Haribo.
Thank you. Thank you for your appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. You said if we recite this in the morning, right?
Yes. Yes, because the promise is upon getting out of bed in the morning, we recite this.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Even remembering Gajendra and his
Yes,
is good.
we can only like put if we cannot recite, we can just listen to the recitation in the morning while we are doing our puja or something. Then just listening to it. Okay.
Anybody else? Yeah, Sriyansh, go for it.
Nice picture. Rasurian's picture, right?
Yeah.
It's my turn.
Yes, very nice picture.
Okay, if there's no questions, comments, we can go to the coverage. Wait.
Prabhu, if you got 2 minutes, can we just recite those 2 slokas with Janti?
Go for it. You want to do it?
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it.
Srimad Bhagavatam.